Last time we talked about the top three books, fiction books that I think you should read if you want to become a better nonfiction writer. And it got me thinking that I don't know how much time you've spent honing your craft as a writer and reading things that actually help you write better. And so I want to do a quick series on today the three books I think you need to read to become a better technical writer. And then next time I want to do a series on some books that are going to improve the depth of your writing. So let's dive in. And by the way, real quick before we jump in, I got a little frog in my throat, feeling a little sick. So that's why I didn't post up yesterday. And then today, if I have to cough, I'm so sorry. So first off, probably the book of all books that I could recommend to you as far as how to improve your writing as a technical writer in pretty much any field. This is On Writing Well. It's William Zinsser, and the byline is The Classic Guide to Writing Nonfiction. And so, gosh, I love this book because not only does he layer in really good examples, he speaks to different categories and groups really well. And so if you are working at a church, if you're working in a nonprofit, if you're working for corporations, you're going to benefit from this book. If you are a solopreneur, if you are a entrepreneurial minimalist, you're going to benefit from this book. He dives into how to decrease clutter, the methods that you're going to need to use as a writer, simple things that I think most writers just overlook when they approach nonfiction writing. And so he even goes into how to write a memoir, how to conduct an interview, interviewing processes. So if you're doing a podcast, this book is going to help you out significantly because it's going to clear out all the superfluous stuff, all the stuff that's unnecessary, that's going to prevent you from asking good questions and from diving deep with your interviewee. He also talks about like color in a book, like how do you make something so good that they feel it? How do you cross the bridge into your reader's mind? One of my absolute favorite books. So On Writing Well, order this book, get it. I don't have an Amazon affiliate link for you. Just Google it. You'll be okay. The next one, it's called Dreyer's English. Now, this is the antidote to your ninth grade English class. This is the antidote to your crappy 3-point essay, the one that they taught you how to use. That's going to be the most useful thing ever. I love academia. I think it teaches you really well. Pardon me. However, when it comes to writing for the rest of your life, academic writing sucks. No one wants to read a 3-point essay. No one wants to read the stuff that is in journals. That's why you have to actually take courses in how to read research because it sucks. It has to fit certain parameters because that's how research is done, and that's the common grammar for doctoral people and people going after their masters and people doing research. But for everyone else, like we don't want to read that. We want to read something that's engaging. And so Dreyer's English, I love the byline here, an utterly correct guide to clarity and style. And so this book will answer the questions like, should you use a serial comma, right? The comma that comes in right before the and. Like, should you do that? The answer is yes. How to use an em dash versus a hyphen, like simple things like that, it's really good. And like when to use whom and who, simple stuff like that. This is not a book you're going to read cover to cover probably, but it is a book that should live on your shelf as a reference book. I did read it cover to cover, and by the end, you're just he goes into comparisons of words like shown versus shown, right? Like something shown, it was versus, I was shown this video, stuff like that. There, all those really important things. And so put this on your shelf, keep it there for when you're writing, for when you run into a problem you don't know how to solve, and you don't want to call someone like me who has studied these things ad infinitum and knows these answers. But this is a great book. You need it. Now, the next one. This might seem a little bit out of left field, but I think this is a great book if you are going to be outlining any sort of work. This is K.M. Wayland, Outlining Your Novel. Now, she writes, I think, some of the best stuff for fiction writers. But the secret is that most of her stuff is applicable towards nonfiction writing. And so I am a big, there's this debate, I think, amongst writers of what's better. They call them plotters, so people who plot everything out, versus adventurers or pantsers, people who write by the seat of their pants, or people who adventure off into the unknown. I prefer the term adventurer because it's more positive. Pantser just kind of has this, I kind of think, snooty, oh, they just write by the seat of their pants. The most common two people, I guess, the on opposite sides of the spectrum. For plotters, you have Brandon Sanderson. He writes a phenomenally detailed outline. And then on the other side, you have Stephen King, who doesn't use outlines. He doesn't believe in them. It hampers his process. And there are benefits to both. I think in the outlining process, I think for most of us just writing to people, we're going to be using the wayfinder technique. That's what I call it. It's halfway between the two. You plot out the big stones, and then you adventure to that next plot point, right? And so if you're writing a nonfiction thing, you list out all the things that you want to hit. You write a rough outline. And then you just kind of fill in the gaps as you go. I think that's the best way to do it. Now, this book, Outlining Your Novel, it's going to help you just with tactics, with simple things that you may not think about. Like, this is my, like what if questions. Like that's one of my favorite things that I picked up out of this book is what if this happened instead of this? Or, in our world, like what if you used let's go back to the series comma, that third comma, what if you didn't use it instead of this? Silly example, but you get the point. Or what if my theory wasn't true? Or what if the opposite theory was true? So really great book to have on there. And I think it's going to improve not only your outlining process, but your storytelling skills. That's something that I think most of us think we know how to do. But again, there's that certain element that makes people lean in. And I think you can teach it to a degree. But there are certain personalities who are just, they're so good at telling stories. Like, again, I'll use my little brother as an example. When he tells a story, you're just like, oh, I'm excited. I want to hear you tell this story. And that, I think you can, again, develop it to a certain degree. And by outlining your novel, I think you're going to get there. Listen, when it comes to writing, it's a skill set. I do believe that you can learn how. I think these 3 books are going to help you with the technical aspects. But you got to remember, any book, any grammar rule, any outlining process, what they're trying to do is help you communicate your ideas better. That's the whole point, right? Is to make you a better writer. The best thing you can do as far as becoming a better writer in the grand scheme of things, the best thing you can do is to just write. Right? Nothing will substitute that. Write and publish and write and publish. That's why I'm a huge fan of medium.com. It's a really low barrier of entry. It's $5. You can publish anywhere and you can see immediately, am I making an impact? Love that platform. You can post on Facebook, see what your followers like. Post on X, post on Substack. My 2 biggest ones for non-writers, start a Substack. I think that's, oh, hey, balloons, woohoo! Start on Substack. I think Substack is a fantastic platform to test your writing, especially if you're not ready to put it out there to your normal email list. So there we go. Now, 2 quick announcements. The first one being at the end of June, I'm going to be participating in a writer's school. This is going to be through Perform Better. If you want to come hear me speak live on email marketing, if you want to come and learn the craft of writing and how do you go from I have an idea to I have a finished book in my hand, you're going to want to attend. It's a Thomas Plummer school as well, and if he's just this massive figure in the fitness industry, and you're going to want to learn from him. It's at the Perform Better headquarters, so if you're a fitness person, you're going to get to rub elbows with some of the greats in the industry. You're going to learn how to write important things and hone your craft. So I would highly recommend looking into it. I'll try and post a link below so you can check it out, but look into it. I highly encourage that. And then before that, come beginning of June, we're in April, May. So actually in May, I'm going to be doing a writing course on how to improve your emails, how to write so they actually want to read them. And so keep your eyes open for that. That's the number one thing people have been asking me for is how do I craft emails that people are actually going to want to open? How do I email folks so I don't feel like I'm bothering them? big topics. We're gonna do a crash course. It'll be 2 hours, and you'll get me, slides, full access, and the recording. And so if that's interesting to you, just pop a thumbs up in the comment. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to jam my computer again. Actually, whatever. Yeah, pop a thumbs up in the comments, and we'll talk about it. That's it for today. As always, make sure you let me know, like, what did you think of today? Do you have these books? Have you read these books? And then as well, if you have questions about writing, publishing, copywriting, email marketing, anything that that is in the world of writing and making writing your living, I'd love to talk about it. So pop that in to the comments below. Hey, but as usual, that's enough for now. Go write something.